you go. Here we go. Here we go. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
And welcome to episode 76, or number 76 of the weekly Chinwag chat with Beck and myself. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Yep. And today's topic is going to be called It's Okay to Take a Loss. And it's just our weekly resell chat, isn't it, hun?
It's kind of a little bit relevant to us today, isn't it?
Yeah,
so that's
we'll do like our regular kind of mic checks and things like that. So if you guys in the chat could just let us know how things are looking, and we'll go in and do a few hellos. We've got Shop Windows in the chat. That's a new name. I Up Servants of Datat, Treasure Pirate, Karen, Peter's popped in, Stephen Bennett. BCP Bumcrack Picker is in here as well. So welcome. Chelsea says evening. Alia's in here as well. Karin, lots of familiar faces. Yes. Did I say Chelsea? I think I did.
I think you did.
I did. Chris Newton has popped in. It's okay. It's okay. Claire and Leah are in here as well. Nick has popped in and says it's Friday. It is Friday.
It is Friday.
Definitely. Deal City is in here as well. So Tap Peddler, Ryan is in here as well with a with his BitConnect.
BitConnect.
Welcome. Peter Cummins says it's those crazy online gamers. We forgot to put a link in.
We thought we'd come back to this channel.
We'd come back to this channel. If you don't know, we've got another. I'm not going there. Okay,
no,
right.
Not.
Darren has popped in. Super duper crazy bargain hunter, Jason Entwistle, William Bryan, Southwest Sellers. Good evening, Bex Alfie, and the other one. So welcome, Seaside Salvager, Claire Riley, Jay Burke. So welcome to everybody that's joined us in the chat. So really appreciate it. It's a nice Friday evening. Looking forward to the weekend. Probably looking forward to a bit more gaming tonight. They're a bit addicted, but this is not that place.
No.
Yeah. Today we're going to do our normal.
We're serious today.
Our normal weekly.
But not too serious.
No,
we are serious.
We're super serious today. Actually, we're going to be really serious. G-Man is in here. Yo, guys, he says. Dave Rowland has popped in and says, "Oh, hello there. I was expecting to see the next video in a fortnight." Very
That's a
good
one.
play on words there, Dave. Yes. Super duper crazy bargain hunt says, "I laughed so much watching you play Fortnite. I don't understand why you'd laugh."
Yeah.
I mean, is that not how the game is played?
Is that not how you play it?
Is that? Yeah. I mean, we build things. Okay, we're not going to talk about video games in this chat.
We're going to try and stay on topic as much as we can.
Yes, we are.
We have got a bit of a plan.
Yes, we are. We have. Stephen Bennett says, "Is that a Terminator book or film behind you?" It's neither. It's an action figure.
Yeah. You showed this on the.
I showed this on the thingamajig.
Thrift battle, wasn't
the thrift battle. That's it. Yeah, I actually showed this on the thrift battle that I did on Bonafide Hustlers channel. It's a NECA action figure. They're not got a great deal of value on eBay.
No.
But they've got good value on Amazon. Yeah, we paid a tenner at a car boot. But we should be able to get around 40, maybe more. Some people have got it up to like 60 odd. So I'm going to stick it up high and send it in. So that's what that is.
Yeah, so it's going up to Amazon.
Yes. Okay. Dave says, "Did you get your chicken burger or did you fall out?"
That's another good one.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The one from the thrift battle says Claire, which was brilliant. I thank you, Claire and Leah. I really appreciate that.
Right.
Okay, we are going to get on with this. And PSN Livestream says, "Hey guys, hi there."
Hello.
All right, so we've got a number of topics to talk about, haven't we?
We do.
And we're going to talk about them in like the usual order. Is that right?
Sales?
What we will do is we'll talk about the sales. Yeah, talk about sales. Sales are good. Sales have been very good.
It's picked up this week, hasn't it?
Yeah, we have had a very strong week. We're very pleased.
Although the previous weeks weren't terrible.
Yeah.
They're just, not where we're aiming for.
Yeah. I mean, the previous ones have been good, but they've dropped a little. We had like a nice spike, and then we had like a couple of weeks where we had a little drop, and we've had like a nice little resurgence, I would say, this week.
Because we were getting used to being around a certain area.
I don't want to say getting used to. I'm not used to anything.
I know,
but you can't.
No, but you do fall into that. You kind of, if you have it for a number of weeks, you sit there and you start thinking, well, this isn't usual. This isn't normal when it starts dipping. Yeah. So, and we all know eBay can go up and down. Yeah. But we had gotten used to a certain level coming over. We had. Yeah. So, I mean, and you know, that's why I said
it's probably wise not to get comfortable. What I would say with that number, or with any number,
but
because
we always discuss this.
We do, yeah. So it's something we have to. Fake Rachel's popped in and has done the shocked emoji. Not a Fortnite stream.
No,
that will be later. That'll be later. We are totally addicted. We really are. Ryan says, I like to relate my sales like cryptocurrency, up and down all day long. Very true. Just finished playing. It was a 24-hour sesh. They just finished playing. So, I know we were only on for a mere 4 hours 40 yesterday. Only, so yeah, 4 hours 40. Bloody hell. 4 hours 40. Yeah, I'm gonna do it again tonight though.
Yeah, I mean, I did drop out about 11.
You dropped out, yeah. You dropped, but that was only to make me a sandwich, my chicken burn. Yeah,
and I wanted to play.
And you wanted to play Fallout, exactly. All right, guys.
Anyway, so
24 hours. Zahir is twitching because he's dying to play. I am dying to play. I so badly want to play. Okay. Right, guys. We've had good sales, so let's get onto the sales. We're gonna just get up the sales screen. And sales seem to be picking up more and more. So this is actually our last 7 days of sales. You can see we've taken just over £1,500, so we're pretty pleased with that. These figures would have gone up even further because today we will share with you guys, we've actually had a pretty big sale. We've shared it on our Instagram. On my Instagram and on our reselling page. I'm not sure if I shared it on the chat yet. I need to. I normally do it. It's just the order of things you got to do things is sometimes so confusing. But yeah, we had a really big sale today. Just behind Beck, there's a huge box. You can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it because I'm in the way.
Yeah, we've basically sold a massive RC monster truck for about 670 quid. So that will skew our figures. So technically we've probably done over 2,000 quid in the last 7 days, but I think that'll probably show up in next week's figures. For now, it's not updated it because you can see it just says we've done on the 6th is it says we've done £218, but it's actually about 800 and something. Yeah. So we've had a really good week. We've actually done over 2k. William Bryan says, right, I'm off to watch paint dry. Why are we waiting, says William Bryan. I'm not sure what you're waiting for.
Yeah, no, neither am I.
I'm not sure what you're waiting for. Is it jazz hands? I'm not sure. Okay. So we just don't know. Right.
We just don't
Give
know.
us, throw me a bone.
Yeah.
So, nice bit. I might play it tonight too. Got Far Cry 5 today, by the way, says Smart Reselling.
Oh, nice.
Okay, nice. Superb. All my students are talking about Fortnite, says South London Reseller. Oh, I can understand why it's addictive.
It is.
But yes, we're getting back to the sales. We've had £1,500 this week, so really happy with that.
Really happy.
Average selling price, as you can see, and actually our sales are down 20% to a year ago. And our average selling price is down 56%. However, you can see our number of transactions have gone up by 80%.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what we found is we're a lot more sustainable. Like last year when we were doing these decentish figures around this time, it was from much fewer items. I mean, 80% fewer transactions, guys. So we've done 63 transactions this past 7 days. Last year it was much more, those big hi-fi items, weren't they? So a lot fewer, which is risky. Yeah. Don't you think?
It is.
Add something when I'm looking at you and saying,
I know, I'm agreeing with you. Last year we were selling a lot of the electronics.
Yeah.
Because we had recently got on that haul. And so it's a completely different story from last year.
Yeah. And
those were nice items to deal with. Chunkier sales were coming through. But
so pretty pleased with how things have turned out, really.
Yeah, pretty happy.
And like I said, with today, it's actually been a stunning day.
I think we're getting
sales.
more stable, though. I think that's what I would say. What I feel at the business is getting more stable.
We are exactly,
So,
and I think the part of that key is what we're going to talk about today, which is like the topic of the actual chat, which is it's okay to sell things at a loss. You know, it's okay to take a loss, and the reason why we talk about that is to maintain your cash flow. Because sometimes this is something that we've talked about. I've talked about this with Nick as well. And Nick mentioned, if you guys remember, when they were running their game shop, and I mentioned to him today as well, and he reminded me of that as well, that even when they were running the game shop, sometimes he would struggle to reduce the price on certain games that they'd paid, you know, a wholesale price for, even though the games weren't going to sell at the prices he was asking. He'd really hold on to the value, but he wasn't looking at all the other money that they were making necessarily, where, you know, which would then allow you to take a loss.
That's definitely something I struggle with.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well,
100%.
but we did that today, didn't we? So I mean, you know, if you guys haven't seen our Instagram post, which is very likely because my Instagram isn't like some big thing that you should all be seeing. No. We just want to share with you a sale that we did today, where we've actually taken a loss, and we just wanted to share that with you, just to show, you know what, you can actually sell things at a loss and not feel terrible about it. You can see we're both pretty happy. We're not like, oh my god, you know, like, oh my god. But
I'm glad that we're kind of turning the money over.
Yeah, it's exactly. So I just want to share this sale. Let me just pop this over to the other side. There you go. Dave says, and selling buttons. I don't know what you mean by that.
Because I like picking up buttons.
Buttons. Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay.
I've ended up with a lot of buttons in my own collection.
Yeah, not actually selling them. Yeah. Okay, so here is this sale that I wanted to talk about. This is the monster truck we've sold today. Now, we've actually, once you take the eBay fees out of this, and once you take the PayPal fees out of this, we will have made a small loss. Not a huge loss, but a loss, you know. We're probably talking about 30-40 quid loss we've made on this item, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This on what we paid for it.
Yes.
Now, there would have been a time where we would have just been sat on this item for a long time trying to get a higher price. Yeah. And I did try to get a higher price, but the market does talk, doesn't it? So it was one of those situations where we had it on at a higher price. We weren't getting any interest.
No. And then we started discussing this week, didn't we? Yeah. About maybe lowering the price. And we were both discussing about where we were comfortable lowering the price down to. And I think we kind of agreed around 700, didn't we? I think, and then I think we started this off at 900 because, believe it or not, but what I mean is what we bought it down to. We bought it down this week. We bought it down to 700.
We bought it down to 750, then 700. Like over the past couple of weeks, we've been dropping the price. Yeah.
And this week we've had a lot more interest because
once we dropped it,
closer to where people want to pay. Than
once we dropped it to this price, like 699, I think it was, and then like 699, 680, we started to get messages like, "Oh, will you take 600 collected? Will you take?" We had 2 messages come in one evening for 600
because we didn't have best offer on.
No,
and we don't tend to.
Not on this item. Yeah. Once we've dropped it to a price where we're really feeling like, okay, we're really offering this at cost, as it were, to us, we don't want to have best offer on a listing like that. But what happened was we had someone that had messaged us who'd offered us 650, and I'd replied saying, with an offer saying I'd take 670. And when this guy saw that I dropped it to 680 on eBay, he must have thought, I better take it at 670, and that's what's happened. He's gone and taken it at 670, and like I said, after fees, that's going to give us like a 30-40 pound loss. But the way we have to look at it is this sale has now bought us back, like overall in profit on the second haul. Yeah, it's bought us over, and you know,
and we've still got a number of things to still go through and list.
We're going to be in a huge amount of profit once we're done with it. But this sale, you know, we could have. a few months even ago, we would have struggled to do
have
that.
even thought about that.
Yeah.
You know, to even think that, you know what, we're going to take a loss on an item.
Yeah, because we knew what we paid. And we were like, we don't want to take a loss. But it's so important it's so important to look at things as an overall picture. And in a way, this reminds me a little bit, and I know this is super cringy, but I'm kind of proud of us for this. But we love watching shows like American Pickers and stuff. And in a way, this was the icebreaker. Yeah. This was breaking the ice. This was like, when we bought this from the contact, it allowed and opened up some really good deals. But we're not sure we would have even seen those items. This is almost like an entry fee, if you know what I mean. So if you think about it, we've bought it and we've sold it at a loss. Leah says, surely it's not a loss if you're going to be in profit overall. What we mean by that, Leah, is
within the haul.
It was like, how much do you want for that?
How much was that? Yeah. So those were like the prices being added up, and then obviously you get stuff chucked in when you're doing a haul. So it's that stuff that you end up being more in profit with. So so it was very much like, so how much do you want for that lot? And that was initially, wasn't it?
That's how he was doing it. It was very much, it was like, how much do you want for that? How much do you want for that? And he was pricing things up individually. But overall, we were getting a lot. And I think after we'd shown him that we were willing to buy, and we bought this item at pretty, a high price, I suppose. It didn't look like it. Yeah, Daisy said that's a loss, leader. And it then opened doors. Then he was showing us stuff that he was willing to sell really cheap. So we've ended up getting way better deals. I mean, we got like 3 boxes of helicopter parts from this guy for then like a couple £100, £200 or £300, and inside there were just those parts alone have given us back £780, and then we've got all the parts left, and it's been insane. And there's a lot more. So sometimes you have to take the initial kind of thing, and it sounds really easy, but guys, trust me, when you've paid,
it's hard to kind of separate the two, though. That's the thing, and I think that's what we're trying to get at with saying that, like, even though individually we're taking a loss on this item, overall we're going to be in profit with the haul. It's still really, really important to kind of focus on the fact that because it was bought as a haul.
Southwest Seller says clickbait title. It's not. Technically, it's a loss. If I was to take this sale...
You did actually say that. You did say, when you put the title in, and I looked at it and I was like,
I did actually. But if you were to take this sale on its own, out of context, it's a loss, right? But obviously it was part of something bigger.
But because it's part of a haul, it's not going to have like a massive impact.
Exactly.
Like
so
that,
so that was something.
But it's better to turn the money over, is what we're trying to get at.
And it's really exactly it's brought in a little cash injection, which I think is really important.
Yeah, definitely.
It's made us feel, obviously, we're on the way now, and we can feel really super comfortable. All right, let's just pop into the chat for a little bit, because we've seen quite a few comments pop in.
I'm sure we've missed a few.
We may have missed a few. All right. Ryan says, on Amazon, say I sell 100 items in profit and have 30-40 left over, I'll happily break even or even take a small loss on those items because the whole lot puts me way in profit. And
that's, I think that's really, really important, because I think we don't always think like that, and we're only just coming around to that idea since doing these bigger hauls. And maybe it's because we haven't really dealt in bigger hauls before, and we're just learning. We're just going through.
Ryan's put a question in which leads us on to one of the things we wanted to talk about. Ryan says, question: would you take a 50% loss on the R8 for me? Now, this is something we wanted to talk about, right? If we talk about it?
Yeah. Go for it.
This is something we want to talk about. We're not, just put this out there, we are not trying to get you guys to buy stuff from us, okay? No. However, we are so grateful. We're super grateful. I mean, I noticed it last week when someone in the chat said they had bought, I was talking about, I was doing a sales report, and I'd said, I sold this buggy. It took a lot longer to sell than I thought it was. And someone in the chat said, or in the comments, I bought that from you. It's a bit higher price than most, and it's not that much cheaper than you. And they left a comment. And we've also noticed a few familiar names, and people have bought from us in the shop. and we just thought it would be nice. We kind of feel like, you know, if you guys ever want to buy something, that's not saying you have to. Please don't even look at the store.
Like
don't even forget I'm even saying this. I feel almost like weird, but Ryan's brought it up with, would you take a 50% loss? What we're doing is, I'm not going to take a 50% loss on the R8, but what we are doing is, if any of you for whatever reason want to make a purchase from our store, if you see something you like, we've come up with like a little code which is in the description below.
Yeah,
it's a little a codeless voucher, and if you click through that code, that should give you guys an exclusive 10% off anything over a tenner. So if you buy anything, if you spend over £10 in our store, you'll get 10% off. It's just a small gesture. I know it's like not earth shattering, but we just thought, we see a few people buying from us.
We've seen a few names.
Yeah, we'd like to, you know, you know, rather than just paying like everyone else. You know, if you're a viewer of this content, you know, then, you know, the least you deserve really is 10% off. But we're stingy, so that's all you're gonna get. So how's that sound?
But so that's what we've done. That's so like Zahir says, there is a link in the description. So and we will try and remember to put it in most of our videos. We had to put an end date, which is at the end of this year, but we'll probably renew it again when it gets to the end of the year. So so I admit it was maybe a little bit of a clickbait title, it was more of a loss leader in a way to get into it, but it was like a reverse loss leader, because it was in a way to get into seeing stuff rather than, you know, to get more sales. It was to get more buys from our we wanted to buy more from him. It was similar with the first RC. We were buying.
We paid up on the models and
and that unlocked all
the
of
RC.
the...
It's like a video game.
You know, like the
it's like a chest, isn't it?
Yeah,
in Fortnite. So
I know, right?
it pretty much what you have to do when you buy a haul is you're probably going to have to, you know, like it's like getting some mats.
No, but the first gun you pick up is not always going to be the greatest.
But you're going to have to pay for it. You know, you're going to have to pay for it, and then you might get some of the better stuff. So that's what it is. Peter says that was the icebreaker. The rest is gravy and ice. Okay, let's go down the chat. Ray says something, and it's just bloody jumped.
It's just
You're very twitchy. Have you been overdosing on the coffee? Says Ray. Am I twitchy? Have you noticed I'm twitchy?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't.
The chair keeps swiveling.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm twitchy.
But it's annoying me.
I have drunk a little bit of coffee.
And Curly Chloe says she loves my nail varnish.
Oh, the nail varnish.
I love it too.
Are you going to do a video on that on your other channel?
What, my nail polish? Oh, I don't know.
It's got that crackle thing.
Yeah, it's OPI crackle. So.
The Hillsman says, question, please could you show us what packaging you use and where you get it from? I could do, not right now because I don't have any to hand. Packaging wise, we tend to just use big bubble wrap, like rolls of like big chunky bubble wrap. We order like lots of poly mailers, large letter, and you know the usual stuff. And
we're getting the vouchers through eBay, so a lot of our poly bags are like the eBay branded stuff, and then we've got like the envelopes as well for like the large letter items.
Fritz Stell says it's good to sell items with a small loss, knowing that you can move it for a good price. Your loss will level out with a profit on other items. Good move, guys. Thanks, Fritz. And that's what we're just getting our head around. And it sounds really stupid because it should be common sense, but we are emotional, you know, people generally, not us specifically, like we're especially emotional, but people are emotional. That's why people mess up on things and make mistakes, because emotions come into it, right? And you buy something and you think it should be worth more. Sometimes you've got to be able to acknowledge that actually it wasn't worth as much as you initially thought. Move on. Even if you're in just plain loss, you know, say we hadn't bought anything else, say this was the only item we'd bought and we sold it at a loss, you just sell it at a loss and move on.
I mean, Peter Cummings, I don't know whether you read that one actually.
It's all about moving the stock.
Moving stock, and it's no good stuck on the shelf, which is completely agree.
And Indie Chick has actually said, I bought a single item over a year ago. I thought I could possibly double my money, but got it totally wrong. Paid $500 and just sold it last week for $420, which means after fees £150 loss. And that's exactly the kind of thing that sometimes you have to stomach. And I suppose, you know, it's good that you've made that decision now, Indie Chick, but maybe someone could say to you, actually, maybe you should have just waited 6 months, or did you only just realise recently? So it depends, I suppose, on the situation. But ideally, you'd want to be able to just, you know, as soon as you know that you're not going to make, because sometimes what happens is when you buy something and you think it's going to be worth a load, and then you find out it's not, it's easy to kind of shelve it again.
I think we've been guilty of this though in the past, where some of our stock we've sat there and we thought, no, it's definitely worth that. I know it's worth that. And just because you believe it's worth that,
it's not
doesn't mean it necessarily is.
Claire has a question. Claire and Leah have a question. Claire and Leah Resell. If you buy something and sell from your own collection, it's a loss, but you're making a profit in your head because it's your old stuff. Very true. That's a good comment.
That is really true.
Exactly. Because you see it as free stock, but it's not. You've paid for it. No.
That's true.
Exactly. And Indie Chick just follows up and says, I'm glad to see the back of it and get some money back in the bank. It may make me money if I kept it long term, but it might not. Using it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Yep. And by getting that money out, you've now got that cash available to reinvest into something else that you could flip over and make that money. So definitely it's something.
And Fabian King says, great sale, but don't get too comfortable as returns come when you least expect them. Absolutely. And
completely.
We have experienced that.
We actually had a return this week that we wanted to chat about. We actually sold. It was our mistake. And
it was our mistake.
This is something we've taken a loss of. We sold an RC car. It was a very small one, and I had two of them. I sold one to the United States, which went fine. And then there was another one that we sold to Australia.
And I think we mentioned this previously.
We've just had to refund the guy because he's finally opened the return case, so we refunded his money.
We did ask him to a while back.
But that meant we also lost out on the 30 odd or 40 odd quid in shipping we paid to Australia because it never even got that far.
No, they just they just refused to deliver it. Because we left a battery in it. So
exactly.
It was our fault.
Shop Window says, this is why I don't get fixed price listings. They hang around for ages. I've made £120 since this chat started through auctions ending. A good mixture of both Shop Windows, maybe. You know, I mean, we actually have been running auctions on some items that are slow moving on Buy It Now. And they've not only achieved decent-ish money for auctions, model kits we've been doing, they've actually kind of made us a few regular sales on the stock that is on Buy It Now. Ryan has a question. Voucher broke. My voucher seems to be stuck on 10%. Well, that's as good as it's gonna get, mate. That's as good as it's gonna get. Good try though, Ryan. Okay.
Just jumped again.
Yeah, we jumped again.
We lost where we were.
Hail, I heard some Chinwag and said Adam. Nice to see you, Adam.
Oh, hi, Adam.
Darren says, been Buy It Now for ages, but did £1,400 in auctions over bank holiday weekend. Nice to just clear a bulk.
Yeah, and we're doing a lot of that at the moment. I mean, I'm currently in the process of moving all of my stock from the second store across to the main store. And a lot of it is actually going across as auctions. Some of it's going across as Buy It Now.
Well, that's something we're doing because we've decided, obviously, just to focus on one store now.
I was just going to leave the store running in the background, not doing too much to it. I mean, it's turning over between £70 and £80 a week on the second store now. Mainly because I have no activity on it, so it just quite literally is just.
But you're getting some nice little sales on there, and it's like we're just thinking if we just put it all into one place.
So I'm moving most of it across.
But we tried.
But stuff that's been there for quite a while, I am sticking through an auction and just trying to get rid of it that way. I'm going to give it 2 runs, and then if it doesn't sell, then it's going back into charity.
Peter says perhaps if 4 of us club together, we can get 40% off. And Chelsea says, nice gesture. This is about our link in the description. Claire and Leah says you might need to put an hashtag ad on your video. Oh really? Okay, I'll do that if we need to do that. I'll have a look. Because it's not an ad, but Nick and Andrea says, cool idea, guys. Dave says, sorry, guys, I need bigger car parts. Simon says the loyalty card has launched. It's not a loyalty card. It's just, yeah. It's just, we've noticed people buy from us, and it's just like, come on, guys. Yeah.
So. I don't know. I guess humbled, I suppose.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's just nice when people buy something from you. So yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, so.
Fritz says, can we spend your discount coupons also in Nick's eBay store? Oh, unfortunately not. It's limited to our store only. All right. There, maybe excited would have been a better word, says Ray. Excited?
Why? What did you say?
Oh, then twitching? I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, we might be a bit. Well.
Karen says, do you only get the packaging voucher if you have a shop? I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, noticed the feeler is back. Yes, the feeler is back.
Yeah. And with the voucher, I think it's from the middle shop up, isn't it?
No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's on the basic store.
Well, they got rid of it.
Basic store.
Did they get rid of it?
Yeah,
because you used to have it.
Yeah. No, but I was on a feature store and then I came down to a basic
store.
Okay.
So and you don't have it?
Yeah, I don't have it now.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think you get it on the basic store.
Something to bear in mind then, isn't it?
Well, unless I'm missing emails somewhere, but I don't think you do.
Okay. And Nick says, the huge van load I bought 2 years back, I had to buy a lot of gear that I didn't really want, which was slow and pricey to buy, but it enabled me to get the haul, which has made massive profit overall. Nick has put it perfectly there. That's exactly what it is. It's like a ticket almost.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And Ryan says, thing is, if you're making 5, 10, 15, 50k profit a year, what's 100, 200, 300 to lose to teach yourself a valuable lesson learned? Very true. It's just sometimes people do struggle to... people do struggle to. It's a simple. When you put it in words like that, it's very simple, but it's an emotional thing that you do have to learn. And I think I really appreciate when Nick shared that it took him a while, even in the shop environment, to do that. Right. And Alia says it's better to get some cash back than to get nothing and just throw it to the side. Speaking of which, I still have a whole box of iPhone 5 covers for years. I should have got the profit out. Yep, it's difficult, isn't it, at the time to make that decision? It is. It's often the reason why in stocks, a lot of people that are new to investing tend to buy when the price is going up, and then they end up selling when the price has bottomed out because of just that psychology. It's difficult to do. Zahir, have you spent any time with your kids yet? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we have. We've actually got a day planned out with them
we've got a day planned out with them tomorrow as well.
We're really excited to take the month out.
Yeah. And Claire and Leah, thank you for the £2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Do you feel like selling your old stuff? Do you feel like selling your old stuff is a loss? We don't really sell our old stuff.
No.
Or I don't know.
We have done previously, but
it depends really. I mean, if you...
The thing is, you've had use out of it.
Yeah,
so
if you've had use out of it, so it's hard because you've gotten a lot of... Yeah, if you've gotten use out of something, then it doesn't feel like it's a loss to me. Personally, I'm like, if I was to sell this Fila hoodie and only got a £5 for it, I would still feel that's really good profit because I've worn it so much. And
I sold your green, that
Timberland that I used to wear.
You used to wear in like pretty much every chat, and then I sold it. No, but also one thing I was remembering is that we were talking the other day about when you first started reselling on eBay, and we were talking about our gaming and like the orb weather.
Yeah.
And that
we bought this really cool gamepad, and it cost like £120 from the Razer store. It's basically like a keyboard thing like that you put your hand over and play video games with.
And it's particularly great for Diablo.
So cool,
isn't it?
That's
how I used to use it.
But we weren't using it.
No, we'd stopped gaming at that point, so we weren't using it. You had reviewed it on your channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd made a review and made videos, and we'd used it a lot.
Yeah,
and it had gotten all that oily skin residue on the.
Lovely.
Yeah, it was gross. Yeah.
And we sold it.
And then we sold it. So
with the oily.
Yeah. There's a question here from Carrie JN says, how long do you leave an item before you accept a loss? See, that is a really good question, and that's something we're still learning, Carrie.
Yeah, we're still struggling because we still will sit on quite
we
a lot
will
of
yeah
stock.
we still will sit on stuff, and we leave it too long. We know we leave it too long.
We do. It needs to be addressed,
because do you know what, with all the information that's out there, technically it should be, there's so much sales history out there, unless you're selling something completely unique which hasn't been sold before. Anything you sell has going to have a substantial amount of sales history out there. So really, from the time you've bought it, it should not take you more than, I don't know what, maybe give yourself a day or two. You can really tell whether it's going to have you know, what kind of sales history it's going to have, whether it's going to sell, whether this item sells frequently or not. And then by that you can judge, can't you? So if you know, oh, okay, these things only sell like 5 times a year, you know you've got to at least give it a year, as long as it's worth it, if it's like a high value item, before you think about you know, getting rid or pricing it under what it sold for previously. So yet despite all this information being out there, we do sit on stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
Like I think we've now, put it this way, we're now only just starting to proactively clear the stuff that we bought in September, and that's an improvement.
Yeah.
So we're talking, you know, we're talking 7 months on, which is an improvement. So 7 months on, and this is for like new stuff, so it does vary.
So we're still going through the process of trying to clear old stock, but we'll get better at it.
Yeah. And Deal City says, totally agree. I cleared out a load of Blu-rays I bought from Music Magpie when I started reselling. Was a mistake, but I've learned from it, and I'm happy to have some space back. Exactly. Yeah, it's a lesson. It's a lesson.
Yeah, we're glad that this big box, actually you can see it. Yeah. Like if I move that way, this. Oh no, it's underneath actually. Yeah. Bottom box. It's such a massive box, but we're so glad it's going.
Yeah. Peter Cummins says, is it bad for your shop to have slow items in there? I used to keep slow items in my shop as I had the room, but have just removed them as I'm thinking it might affect sales of my other stock. I don't think it's bad to have slow items, Peter Cummins. I think it's, do you know what? It would be like picking all winners. If you've got a store full of 100% fast moving items, you're a damn good picker. Like you're a really amazing at picking winners, and rather than picking lines that sell on eBay, you should pick lottery numbers and stocks, because that is really impressive if you can do that. I think every store is going to have lines which no one buys something thinking, this is going to make me a profit in 5 years. No one does that. You don't go to a car boot and say and pick up this mug and think, this mug's amazing. You know what? I reckon I'll be able to sell that at profit in 5 years time. You don't do that. The only reason you've picked something up in your capacity as a reseller is, I reckon if I buy that 50p, I can flip that for a tenner, or I can sell it for a tenner. And you're not hoping for it to take 5 years. You're hoping maybe in a few days or a few weeks or a few months. But that's the trick, is to realize that once you've gone past like 6 months, 8 months, a year and a half, 2 years, to then, the trick is to then go, you know, bugger, I've had this now for 2 years. You know, it's not. I
paid 50p.
Yeah, it's just not that good. And you know, and that's the trick. And we're.
Oh, sorry.
But to do that is acknowledging that you're wrong.
Yeah.
That, you know what? There's a saying that you hear. It's not a saying, really, is it?
No,
it's not a saying.
I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
What are you saying?
Okay, you may have heard this.
Okay.
People say everything sells eventually.
Yeah.
We've all said it. I'm sure I've said it. I'm sure loads of you in the chat have said it. Everything sells eventually. It's true. On a long enough timeline, the survival rate for everyone is 0, as Ed Norton's character said in Fight Club, right? What that means is, if you leave, of course, on a long enough timeline, everything sells. But do you really want to have items that are going to take longer than your lifetime to sell on your store? No, because you want to be profitable during your lifetime. And if you buy this mug and you hoard it and sell it after 5 years for, you know, from 50p to 20 quid. Imagine you sell it for 20 quid in 5 years time. That is insane profit. You would die for shares or stocks that could, you know, stocks and shares that could provide that kind of return on investment, right? But it's not going to teach you anything in terms of being able to pick items that are in demand. Is it? Because you're then going to sit in 5 years time and go, yeah, I paid 50p for that mug and I've just sold it for 20 quid. Oh no, great. Because you're a human, and you'll ignore the fact that it took you 5 bloody years to sell it. So that's
we calm.
We are calm. We are calm. Indie Chick just says another ka-ching.
Oh, that's good.
Superb. Adam, do you know any Saturday car boots at Curly Chloe? Oh, it's not for us. There you go. Right, let's keep scrolling just quickly. No, we've got no gaming PC in there, Dave.
No.
Don't forget to use 10% off. Wow, are you gamers, says Claire. yes, believe it or not. We're gonna just scroll down. If Z autographs that mug, I'll buy it. Lol. Gosh. Dear. There we go. Peter says, I don't know about that. I bought a vinegar jar 18 months ago and can't give it away. Can't think why. No, but you will hear that.
Yeah,
and people do say everything sells. So yeah, I mean, there are times, you know, and Darren says, spot on, where resellers, not hoarders. Our aim is to make some cash, not fill up the cupboards. Yeah. Question from Curly Chloe. What is the longest you have gone without sales, if active? We recently, a few months ago, we were having pretty bad sales.
Yeah.
And I think we've been maybe 2 or 3 days where we had no sales, and for full-time sellers,
that's stressful.
Disastrous. It's
really
disastrous.
Stressful.
But a lot's changed since then. That was at a time when we were sourcing different stuff, and maybe our inventory just wasn't as good as we thought it was. And you've got to be honest. And again, that's difficult.
And I think that's really important. Like, you've really got to be honest about the stock that you're picking up.
Exactly.
You know, and really question it sometimes. You know, if sales aren't coming through, you know.
Dave says if Z autographs that mug, it'll be sold at a loss. Yeah. And Andy's got a question. In between gaming sessions, what do you do to chill out and recharge for 5 minutes? eBay listings, packing?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. eBay listings, packaging.
We just fit it in. Yeah, we just in our downtime. In our downtime. Lisa's joined us and says, bonsoir peeps. Hi there, Lisa. Thanks for popping in. That we can move on to another topic we wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lead the way.
Lead the way, yeah?
Because you're...
Have I gone off the rails?
Yeah, I kind of lost it a little bit.
You lost it?
Yeah.
Okay. So... Well, I wanted to talk about things that, like, habits we wish we'd picked up immediately. As research.
I see where you're going.
Part of where we're going...
Lisa, don't be sorry for being late. It's fine.
Yeah. Part of where we're going, obviously our sales have been improving, and we've been sharing with you guys. Sales go up every month, and it feels really great, doesn't it? And at the same time, obviously, the fees go up and up and up. And this is something that we want to share with you guys, because it would be really great if any of you aren't doing this, that if you could start doing it, it would be really great for you as well. What that is to pay your eBay fees daily.
Yeah. And we haven't been. We always have like the big bill.
Yeah.
It's right at the end of the month.
And it's getting bigger and bigger. The bill is getting more and more substantial. And the thing is, we're lucky enough to be, you know, friends with some really great resellers. Nick has probably mentioned this, I'm sure, in the past. Bobby Billington spoke to us about this just in one of our game streams, actually. You know, and you know, we know Hicksey's a big fan of paying things up daily, and it really is one of the biggest changes that we want to now implement going forward, because we're feeling so good about it. Is to pay your eBay fees on a daily basis, because they rack up, and especially if your business is growing and you're selling, your fees are just going to build up before you know it. I absolutely cannot, like, it's getting too much. Ryan says, I love a bill for 800 to 1,000 a month. Lol, stinkers. Lol. Exactly. It is one of the worst things to deal with, is especially when you've just paid the rent, you've paid the council tax, whatever, and bam, you've now got another huge 600, 700, 800 pound bill, you know, or more, obviously, depending on how much more you're selling. You know, it's too much to cope with, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help things, does it? And the thing is, it's like, I said this to you the other day, why can't eBay just take the fee? Just take it. Just, you have access to PayPal, just take it. No, but they do, but on a monthly basis. But it's just, you know, we wanted to kind of be a little bit more on top of that and deal with it more on a daily basis.
Just, you know, when we spoke to
we
spoke to Bobby was in one of our streams, and he just said, actually, he was very honest. Bobby, for those of you who don't know, Bobby Billington and his wife are really good guys. They're amazing resellers. I don't think they do any YouTube or anything,
I don't think they do.
but they're really great members of the community, and they do very well for themselves. Touch wood, and they, you know, carry on doing it. And they've very honestly was like, they nearly twice said that they nearly, you know, struggled in their early days in their first year. Just from cash flow, and again, it kind of comes in with the cash flow of selling stuff,
turnover,
freeing stuff up, and not having these unnecessary bills, and to pay your fees daily is huge. I mean,
South London Reseller says you can pay your fees daily.
You can,
you can.
You have to do it manually. It's a very clunky procedure, but every night before going to bed from now on, we're going to pay our fees.
We've set a time, haven't we?
Yeah, 10 p.m. we're going to do it. I think. Yeah. I was going
to say, you're going to have to rethink that.
It's going to be after we stop playing Fortnite. or maybe before we start playing Fortnite. Maybe before or after we start playing Fortnite, we're going to do that and pay them daily, because we
could actually do it
because the
morning.
And the problem is this. The problem, I'll tell you what the problem is, guys.
There we go.
Yeah, I think this is the problem.
Yeah.
Say you've got a fees to pay, like, I don't know, like you've got your 600-700 quid fees to pay. You pay it and you're like, okay, at least that's done. Now I want to just get ahead of it. By the time the money's taken from your account, you're already back in, you know, owing a bunch of money. Like we paid, you know, we'll be honest with you, we paid around 600 quid this month, okay? Once that had gone out of the account, and I looked at the eBay account, we'd already racked up 400 odd quid. So we were already 400 again, ready for next month to get done over. So we had to take a double blow, basically.
So we paid. We not only paid our eBay fees, we actually got in front
just to catch up.
Just to clear that.
And obviously, some people are going to be happy doing direct debit. Richard Howard just says, I just pay it at the end of the month by direct debit. I don't worry about it as it's still the same amount. Richard, that's very true.
But I think the problem for us, particularly because I mean, I don't know whether
our income is still not super stable.
We are still trying to find a ground that's kind of level for us.
If you've got your budget and everything squared away, then I'm sure it's fine.
We are still trying to get on top.
But we're still
exactly. It's bad, but it is.
Yeah. It's going to be 3 a.m. after Fortnite, says Ryan. And Caroline says, can you really pay daily? Yes, you can, Carolyn. Yes, you can. I did actually see a nice message from someone saying hi. It was Caroline saying hello from Lancaster, PA. I finally caught you all live. So excited. It's like sitting around the table with all my family again. Aww. That's such a sweet comment, Caroline. Thank you. And yes, you can pay daily. You click on your account button underneath your name. There'll be like you'll be able to see your fees and things like that. YouTube asks, where do you stream Fortnite? I may have mentioned it, but I have another channel.
Yeah, it's on your other channel.
So
if you go to our banner, on our
you'll
YouTube
be able
page,
to do it.
You'll be able to see like along there, and there should be a link for this one's channel.
Ryan says, I've asked to play old school till 6 a.m, but Z can't handle the pace. Whatever, Ryan. I could do that. Play until Z gets a kill in the game. Then very funny. You took a hit 1K. That's like a left slap from HMRC, says Ryan. Yeah, I mean, you have to do it, and just to get ahead.
We do. Yeah. We just felt it was really important to kind of address it, rather than having the same like issue. It's one less thing to worry about, isn't it? It's one less bill to worry about, and especially as it's growing. Thing is, with normal bills, you can account for a bit easier because they tend to be static. So we know our rent is X a month, right? We know our council tax is set per month. We know our water, gas, whatever, blah blah blah. But with your eBay fees, it can vary a bit. It can on how much you sold,
especially when you're at our stage. When you're still growing, we still haven't found our feet yet. Where is our standard level?
Bobby Billington's actually in the chat.
Oh, brilliant. Hi, Bobby. Just to add, if you have a family, unexpected bills, expenses are always around the corner. Correct. If you pay eBay
absolutely.
daily, it softens their hit when they come in.
Yeah.
That's couldn't put it better myself.
And with the animals and pets, unexpected bills like vet bills and stuff like that can happen as well. So
it just we feel we can, we know now. It would be great if they took their money out just like PayPal do as soon as it comes in, but they don't.
So we're doing it.
Yeah, we're going to do it manually going forward. It's just something, Richard says, does it not make more paperwork at the end of the month paying daily? I wouldn't think.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all.
Yeah. I mean, you when you print out your monthly sales report, it will still have your fees and stuff. All that, like you said, the number in the end is the same.
Yeah.
How we're paying it is
it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Okay. So it's 6th of April. So when you're going to do your tax return, says Dave. Because I do it online, I've got until December, but I'm going to try to get ahead of it.
No, we are going to get on top of it.
We're going to try to get ahead of it. Yeah. We normally leave it till we got till the 31st of January. But
it's not going to happen. No, it's happening before then.
No, exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Right. Let's have a look at the comments. Work out how much you owe and pay eBay that amount. You can take it as expense and eBay will deduct it as stuff it sells. Okay. Question: in money terms, how much do you think it costs really to run your eBay shop a month, from fees to PayPal fees, etc.? Well, on their like beta cost thing, we're paying about 14%. We're paying about 14% out in eBay and PayPal fees. They're taking about 14% of the sales. But I don't know like the exact numbers. Obviously they vary. But looking at that was the breakdown for the last 30 days. We'd lost about 14% to eBay and PayPal combined, which I think is fine. Right. A lot of comments and questions, like advice coming in about that as well. Simon says, get a bank account that pays any interest and move the money into that daily and then pay at the end of the month. Yep, that would be a smart way of doing things. Yeah, because
idea.
You can then, because that way you're not doing it. Yeah. Nick says, I'm usually a last minute kind of guy with tax law. Yeah, it's the way it is.
No, that's definitely the way it's been, but we're going to try and get on top of it this year and not do it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't like it.
Mo from Reseller Niche is in the chat. Hi there, Mo.
Hi.
Barry says, when eBay start their new payment thingy, I wonder if they will be able to take fees automatically. If they do, I think that would be great.
Yeah.
It'll make things more transparent, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. It'll be interesting to see, actually.
Exactly. Darren says, yep, 14% here too. Yep. January 20th is a good date for tax return, lol, says Ryan. Carrie says, question, do you check their bill eBay sends you? Have they ever got it wrong? I'll be honest with you. We don't monthly check it in terms of itemized costs. I will randomly check it. But like I don't check it monthly and probably should.
Yeah.
If I would probably only check it if it seemed wrong.
Yeah.
Like we know what we've taken. No, Kevin, that includes the shop fees. Actually, I think when they on the beta it works it out. I thought it was including the shop fees. But Peter's saying maybe it's plus shop fees.
Yeah, Peter said that as well.
I don't know. Maybe it is plus shop fees. It wouldn't be the first time. So there you go.
We'll see.
Yeah. And Claire and Leah says that's my birthday, not doing it then. 20th of Jan. Okay. PayPal and eBay need much clearer invoices in all businesses I have ever been involved in. These are the worst, says Claire. I was thinking of doing the tax return online, then waiting until January to pay it. At least I will know what it is for months, says Dave. Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason I like doing it online. It's just simple, and you do get more time. More time is always good. Deal City says, want to thank Beck for the weight loss videos. You inspire me to keep track of calories. Have lost a stone in 3 weeks in eating 1,500 calories.
Wow.
Was at 15.5, now at 14.5.
Oh, that's really great. That is really great. That's really awesome.
Oh, it's made your day, hasn't it? Look at that. Yeah. Thank you for making Beck's day with that comment, really Deal awesome. City. It is epic. I mean, we do have other channels. We don't talk about them very often. We like to just keep it simple.
This is like I've said this to you. I don't know why I even talked to you before we go live.
What?
Can we not do the whole channel thing?
No, well, okay.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. You know.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. What was next on the list? I mean, what was next on the list?
So, but this is like the 4th time you've mentioned it. Anyway, so we were talking about...
I think is that it?
I think we may have actually run through our... Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
I think we did.
Good point. Dave says, plug Moonwalk donations.
I just wanted to say, Chloe says, Zahira's lost weight too. You have. It's been coming off slowly, but it has actually been...
I did eat a doner kebab just before coming on live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
But it's coming off slowly, isn't it, the weight?
And Nick says, thinking of going live for some vintage toy research on eBay after you guys are finished. Fancy a spot of live streaming. Superb. Okay. Question, how was the meeting this week?
Meeting was good.
It was really good.
It was really good.
The meeting was
we're feeling
bang
like we're
on.
getting more and more discussed and more kind of...
Yeah, we're making more of it, definitely.
Yeah.
I think we are making more of it.
Yeah.
That's for certain. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's helping structure. One of the things that we always struggle with, always will struggle with, is structure. We're not structural people. We're not organised structural people.
I'm just going to let you carry on.
We're not organised as much. And I think the meetings have just given like an outline or a structure to the week.
And we're actually starting to say, oh yeah, we're going to discuss this on Monday. We're going to discuss this on Monday. And we're actually remembering to actually talk about it and actually come up with a plan about how we want to deal with something or what, what direction we want to go in when it comes to something. So yeah, it's really awesome.
Exactly.
Really awesome.
A doner kebab that'll go straight to your hips. Adam says Nick and Andrea Z can't. He's gaming on his other channel. We're actually going to be going out for a dog walk. Then I'm going to see what I can catch of Nick's stream. Yeah. And then after that,
and I've got a video to edit.
Oh, you got a video to edit
tonight,
well, I'll be on before you, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going to be on.
Yeah, but tonight's Friday, so we can be on like crazy. What?
We have got boots out in the morning.
Boots out? Is it on?
I don't know.
It might not be on. Thing is, I haven't got any stock to show for this Wednesday's thrift battle. Oh, yeah, we've got another thrift battle.
Let's do...
Yeah, there's a thrift battle happening this Wednesday on Bonafide channel. Yeah. I've got no stock for it, so I need to go sourcing. But I still want to play...
You're actually going up against... I think his name is Casey
Rockstar Flipper.
I think his name's Casey. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But Rockstar Flipper, you're actually up against Rockstar Flipper.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to be doing... we need to be getting some items to share on that. Zia, have you asked for a promotion yet? No.
Yeah, he's not having one either.
Okay, let's pop over. We have now walked as a team a total of 553 kilometers. It looks like Nick and Andrea went out today and walked 6 miles. Yeah. We've been crap on our walk.
Really
we haven't done any walks this week.
No, we've been rubbish.
We've done 0 walks this week. Is that right?
No, we went out on, was it Wednesday?
Yeah, but that was a bad walk.
But it was really bad, and we ended up stopping the app, and we were just like, no, this is ridiculous. We're not doing it today.
Yeah.
So Wednesday we kind of cancelled our walk. We've walked about 2.5 miles, and we were just like, no, this is stupid. We're stopping.
Exactly.
So we've been really bad this week.
And but at the moment we have got over £685 in donations. Which Nick is now actually way in the lead at £206 donated to Nick, 164 to myself, 161 to Andrea, and then Bex on 153.48. So thank you for those donations.
That is really, really awesome.
Absolutely fantastic.
We had a target of about £100 each, didn't we? That is the initial goal that Walk the Walk want you to raise. Like that's the minimum they want you to raise. So we have completely gone over that, which is awesome. Exactly.
Well, they said we did walk 6 miles, slow pace but good to get out. We really have been crap this week, to be honest with you. We need to sort that out. So I did a 25 kilometer bike ride this evening, shattered. I'm not surprised, Adam. And I just saw a message saying late night fortnight over car boots. No, we're still gonna go car boots, Adam.
No.
We're gonna go
it's
car
gonna
boots.
happen if it's
We're going.
on.
I'll
Even
be going.
if he's streaming till like 3-4 in the morning.
I'll just go.
He's going to.
I go though. I
He's
just go.
It's not even.
As
an
long
option.
as it's not rained off. And on Sunday we've got to go clear the road if the weather's bad, because they're under the thing, aren't they? So,
yeah. Oh, Nick's saying, no way. Scroll down and see who's donated. He wants to know who's donated.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Here is it.
We've got Antoinette Daly gave £15.90 to Andrea. Gary Barnes.
Yeah.
It doesn't say who to there.
No, it doesn't.
No. And Gear Resellers gave £15.90. Richard Payne gave £5.30. Richard Payne gave £5.30. Oh, that's for Nick, and that was for me.
Yeah.
And to Beck as well, and to Andrea. So Richard Payne gave to everyone.
Really
that was very kind. And Antoinette Daly again there with another £15.90. It's amazing how much support we're getting. And I was going back to when Nancy and then Lonnie as well.
That's really awesome.
Oh, fantastic. It's a competition, guys, says Alia. Oh, wow. I mean, we are absolutely thrilled, to be honest, with how it's gone. It's just been epic.
Yeah, and it's not long now.
No.
And I'm actually feeling really excited about it now. I'm like really excited about actually doing the walk.
Yeah, now it's getting close.
We're getting on to the bigger walks.
We're going to be doing the 14 mile
we've got
and
a
stuff
14 and a
on
16.
Monday or something, or on Tuesday. Yeah. No, we're going on Wednesday now, aren't we? The 14 mile. We're going to have to do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, we can't do it Monday because we're getting something collected. So we can't do Monday. So I think we said Wednesday for the 14 mile.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we've got to squeeze a 16 mile in. So depending on how we do the 14 mile, we'll probably try and do a 16.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah, exactly. Nick says, wow, you guys are so generous.
Yeah, completely.
It's amazing how the community's come together for this. It's such a great cause, and we're hoping, and I know this is we're going to smash that even more on the evening. I'm sure we will, because we're going to go live, we're going to stream, and we're going to make sure we get as much as much donated towards this cause, because it is worth it, and it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. All right, guys, I think that's us. It's just over 8 o'clock. We did come on dead on time at 7. We've got to go and walk out and then pop over and see Nick's live stream that we call. And we will probably be on live if you want to catch us on our gaming channel.
I may not be there straight away.
It's not really a gaming channel. The channel's called Only Cool Stuff, and there's a link in the banner of our channel. Yeah. And that's a serious plug. Okay, guys.
I'll let you get away with that one.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching.
And you've cancelled out all of the screens?
What do you mean I've cancelled out all the screens? Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. We will see you guys post the link. I'll post the link in there.
What we'll do is put it in the description.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Okay.
See you later.
See you later.